everybody. My name is Kristen. I am on the alumni panel for the Repeaters Posse as the Professional Development Chair. Since my first two videos were on the job market since COVID and the interviewing process, I wanted to talk to you today about your first job. So this is sort of a good to know reference guide for you. Obviously, it's not everything that your first job will be, but here we go. Regardless of what your first job is, there is going to be a huge learning curve. For me, I switched from Mac to PC, from Bash to ConEmu, from GitHub to Azure DevOps, and React to Vue and Angular. But also, working on a professional team was a big adjustment. What does it look like to write professional code? How do I work best with these people? Who do I go to for questions? That sort of thing. So I did a Google survey and it was about 5 questions. I got an awesome response of over 50 people, which is great. My last one was only 13. It was a very short survey, about 5 questions, and it was based off the questions that the Repeaters group had for me. So the first one is, how long before you felt settled in? 45% of people said 4 to 8 months, which is about where I was at as well. 41% said 0 to 4 months. And 14% said 8 or more months. My next question was on resources. What resources were supplied to you to help you get acclimated? So this is a mark all that applies sort of thing. So 80% of people felt they had a supportive team, which is great. That is why when you're doing the interview process, you want to ask about what environment you'll be working in. A supportive team is so important. 35% of people said that they had a mentor, somebody who worked hand in hand with them while they were still learning. 33% of people said they had an adjustment period. So by that I mean a period of time before they had to start doing their own tickets where they were just learning, which is awesome. 21% said they were provided like literature, and by that I mean like concept material that you would need to study to do your job. Sometimes jobs will also provide for you an education budget. This could help you pay for something like a Udemy course. My job, we had like a $10 a month education budget, which obviously I didn't use every month, but got to use some months. If you've got it, take advantage of it. And then I'll say about 10% of people who filled out this survey felt that they were not provided resources when they started their job. So if that happens to you, please advocate for yourself so that you can be successful. My next question was on how many hours did you feel you had to work outside of work? Obviously, Turing hours are not normal. You should not be working 60 to 80-hour weeks at your job. 70% of people said that 0 to 5 hours was about the amount of time they worked outside. So I think of a work week as about 40 hours a week. So if you're putting in about 45 hours a week total, that's not really that bad. 17% said 5 to 10, 13% said 10 or more hours. That seems like kind of a lot. Whatever you feel like you have to do. My next question was, did you get to the point where you felt you could cut back? And 86% of people said, yeah, I did get to that point, which is good. If you said no, that's fine too. I would say while you might cut back on the amount of hours you work to get caught up for your job, I would not cut back on the amount of hours you work to keep yourself up to date with new things and changes, or even just staying flexible as far as like problem solving, that sort of things. That is going to help you get your next job and your next job and your next job. So make sure that you're still doing those. The last question on these slides was, what advice would you give yourself in Mod 1 after getting your first job? We had a lot of responses to this question, so I just picked out a few of them here. I liked this one that talked about, the goal being learning, not necessarily to graduate. Sometimes I think you can get so hung up on, I'll never graduate, that you're sort of ignoring some of the learning opportunities that are right in front of you. And I think that is what's most important. And then I also like this one that talks about imposter syndrome and sort of not letting it dictate your entire career. My last thing here is I just want to give you a little bit of support. Sometimes your first job will feel overwhelming, and that is okay. You got this. You're smart. I believe in you. I support you. And just remember, they hired you for a reason. Thank you so much to all of the alumni who took the time to take my survey, and thank you to all of the repeaters who asked these questions. Take care of yourself, support yourself. Goodbye.